Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Worst. Now, in this episode, I think I'm going to go a little short. I don't know how much I'm going to ramble. It might happen, we'll see. But first, a little sip of coffee. Okay, so in this episode, this is kind of a context necessary one. And as we look, we're now about a year into this lockdown pandemic situation here in the United States and elsewhere in the world. And as we look to the end, we hope to see an end soon, although we all probably suspect it may last a little bit longer as far as the normal life routine returning, okay? We're probably not gonna be all walking around without masks on, hugging each other anytime really soon. And so, but as we look toward the future, one of the things people have talked about is how certain social norms and etiquette is no longer going to be part of our deal. One of those things is the handshake. The handshake. For so long, centuries, the handshake in its various forms, whether it's the full Roman with the wrist, the limp fish, the royalty where you hold up just the fingertips, whatever the handshake form took, that is not likely going to be re-entering our way of doing interpersonal relationships after this pandemic has kind of moved aside. And so there have been a few proposals on what we should replace this with. And so for our topic today, I am going to talk about what I think is the worst replacement to the handshake. And that is, my friends, the elbow bump. You've seen it. You may have done it before. And I promise, if you have done it, I suspect that you probably wanted to run, hide, and take a very cold shower immediately after because you felt dirty. It was wrong. There's nothing okay about the elbow bump. Now, the origins of the elbow bump are probably ambiguous. We're not sure. It probably came in sports. Some in baseball, you get a home run, you kind of do one of these with somebody, and so we just went down for some reason to the elbow. I've seen people do this as well. I can't do it to myself the right way, but you kind of meet them right there, and there's less germs being transferred, I guess. But for some reason, someone said, let's do an elbow thing. Let's awkwardly get our elbow up in someone else's face and then touch their elbow to ours, and that's somehow saying hello. Aliens, if you're watching this, just skip the earth. We got nothing going on here. That is an embarrassment. That's terrible. It's so bad. It's so awkward. And you're talking to somebody who loves awkwardness in general. I thrive on it. That's one of the reasons I became a teacher. But here we are bumping elbow. What is that? Why? Why? There are so many better ways to greet somebody than bumping elbows. Traditionally, the handshake, it actually originated during kind of Roman medieval type times where you'd more or less be signifying your distrust of the other person by doing one of these. You're actually searching their forearm for a weapon, okay? But later it became a sign of trust. You're extending a hand of friendship more or less to the person you were greeting. It made a big impression if you're in a job interview or whatever, or meeting somebody for the first time. It said something about you. So how is this going to say anything about you, ever? Except that you're creepy and weird and awkward, and I don't want to see you ever again. If I've given you an elbow bump, forgive me. Please. Please forgive me. I think there are other ways we can greet each other if you're keen on social distancing, which I suspect our society will lean towards in the future, as we are now. Why not just adopt a long time honored tradition of the bow? The formal bow, even just a moderate head nod is similar in its communication. You're sending the same message. You are acknowledging the other person, they are acknowledging you, and you can now commence with whatever type of social interaction you're going to conduct, okay? The idea, though, that you are going to bump elbows with somebody and somehow that's a sign of trust is, at best, significantly misguided. At worst, it's gross, creepy, and awkward. Let's do better, people. Now, I put up one idea, the bow. I think that's a good one. I think that will work. I think it kind of checks all the boxes for what we're trying to do, what we're communicating, and how we're trying to communicate it. Social distancing, okay? I'm open to other ideas. What do you got, people? What form of greeting do you think our society should adopt in a post-COVID world? What do you look forward to most about these post-COVID greetings, aside from just being in the same area as a friend or a loved one? In any case, people, I think I've rambled enough and ranted about this really random topic that I'm sure you've thought a lot about. Obviously, I have. So until next time, I'll just remind you, life is about choices. We'll see you then.